Right.
So yeah, welcome to the TEx Podcast with me, as usual, the host. This is something I've been doing for a while. Like I've been talking to, people I know from the music industry, from, different places. And funny enough, like, again, like I know so many people that to a point that I tend to forget, like, oh, I need to talk to so-and-so, until I think I saw your message when you put out the new project. And I was like, of course, like, I mean, I've known you for like decades. We should,
Yeah. Well, about 15 years probably. I mean, we've been working together on and off on different singles here and there. It's actually the first we've seen each other face to face now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
This is the first time. Wow, that's crazy. So let's start from the beginning though, like your early childhood experiences and, living in Jamaica, the music. I mean, obviously, I know the music, but like I want to hear it from your perspective. How was it?
Man, I mean, Jamaica is a very musical place. I mean, music is everywhere. So I mean, it's hard to avoid it. And we have reggae, we have dancehall, such a rich culture, and you're around it. So, from as far back I can remember, I've been listening to music and I've been around music. So reggae and dancehall definitely. But then, as a hip hop artist, I mean, have to speak on hip hop. So I was also exposed to that, not necessarily from the natural environment, because I mean, hip hop is played, but when I was growing up, it was a bit different. So hip hop was on the radio, but for me, it was more my older brothers. One in particular, he pretty much was a hip hop head in his teens, and he was like 9 years older. So when I'm 5, I'm 6, I'm hearing the Public Enemy, Run DMC, lots of different things, and he had the tapes. So I was hearing the albums. And then you might relate to this. I think this might be the experience for people in Nigeria as well, where we are absorbing culture from the US. So we may not be watching it on our TV or hearing it on our radio station, but people are sending tapes. So we used to get these videotapes with the videos, etc. So I was seeing rap videos even before my family had cable, So that was my early exposure to hip hop. So from that age, I was just like a sponge. I was listening to everything, whether it was R&B, reggae, dancehall, hip hop, house music, just anything that I heard that I liked, And I guess as I got older, you start to understand hip hop more and you start to explore things some more. And then I just delved into it, and I guess I went through different phases in terms of the love increasing. Till you get involved in it and you start dabbling and saying, this is something that I do.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a very interesting thing, like similar experiences.
Yeah.
We get the tapes, people bringing back the tapes, the videotapes, the audio tapes, all those things. Like we kind of like, we are listening to it at the same time it was happening,
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And even though like it's like a different continent, we're still experiencing the same culture, which is unheard of. It's like it's so unique for that time, especially in the 90s and everything. But then, like you mentioned, like you've been listening to it all your life. Now, what point did you realize? Did you think like, yeah, I'm gonna do this? What point?
I'm not sure exactly what made me say, hey, I'm going to do this, but I do remember hearing Wu-Tang Forever in 97, also the Rakim album 18th Letter, and I just remember my mind was blown at that time, and at that time I may have been say 10, 11, I was born in 86, and I remember owning those albums and listening to them for myself. But at that time, I still didn't comprehend everything. You're still young. You have a lot more life to live, But that was something that really made me get more interested in hip hop. And at some point, I started writing rhymes. And the funny thing is, the first rhyme I ever wrote, I was kind of mimicking ODB on that Mariah Carey remix, So I don't even know why I even went that route. But I mean, just listening to everything and you try your hand at something. And I don't think I was serious about it, but I just I did it in my spare time when I was young, like 10, 11.
Yeah.
Then later in my teens, that's when I got serious about it. I can't think of a specific artist or album that made me say, yo, I'm rapping. But I know I just dabbling a bit. I just started doing it more and more. And I think what had happened was, I remember being on a message board back in the days, in my early teens. And somebody kind of called me out and said I was whack. And to me, I was like, huh, what are you talking about? You know, and then that started a different journey where I started going to some other message boards online and like connecting with MCs. But out here, I was just writing on my own, keeping it to myself. I wasn't really rapping for anybody or doing anything. So there's still a lot I never knew about the craft. I never really had an avenue for it. And it was kind of online. I started connecting with people and learning more about the craft and like started honing my skills. And then that's when I kind of started telling my friends, yo, this is something that I do. Listen to this. You know, and obviously your friends will be happy and say, yo, my friend is a rapper. You know, and that's kind of how it started. And as I said, you go through phases where over time you just get more, you fall more in love with it. You know, become more a part of your identity.
Wow. So now like you are like you able to grow your confidence enough to show your skills to like people. But now like the industry now with your talent, how is the industry over there?
That's a funny question because you know it's something I've spoken about for years. We don't really have a hip hop industry here, you know. We have a small hip hop scene, or maybe you could say it's a micro scene, you know. But Jamaica is dominated by reggae and dancehall, so those are the two spaces. Yeah. And in some ways, there's a lot of love for soca music. So you know, Carnival is big. You know, it may be even getting bigger than Trinidad Carnival right now. Nice. You know, so outside of those three genres, it's like everything just has a tiny space. So there's some house music events that take place. There are some rock events that may take place. And then I naturally felt, yo, we need to have some hip hop events. So me and my peers over time started putting on those events. But right now I can't say there's any consistent event happening. There's IAGIF. I need to big up IAGIF. He's doing something called Hip Hop One Drop. IAGIF is also Nigerian. You know, so he's out here living in Jamaica. I've known him for many years. I think sometimes people forget that he's Nigerian, but he's Nigerian, you see me? So he's kind of keeping that flag alive by having a regular event that happens for rappers. And I got to pass through a couple of them a while back. So big him up for doing that, you know what I mean? So as I said, it's not a very strong scene, but I'm hoping that soon we can bring back the energy that we had in the past with a number of us putting out music, and hopefully I myself can get back to putting on an event or two and just bringing back that energy and that vibe for people to have that space and for the artists to have that platform.
Great. Like, yeah, I like the way you summarized everything there, so I don't need to say more.
Yeah.
Get the perspective now. But now, can you give me something, like what was like the first big break you had, like, and how did it change your trajectory in the music industry? Like, I just need...
All right, I would definitely have to say like 2010 for me was a pivotal year. There are a number of things that happened that year. That's when I started doing more performances. You know what I mean? As a part of a movement named Manifesto Jamaica, we're putting on a number of shows. And being on some of those shows, I started to, you know, develop a little audience and people start having some interest in me. I started getting a little bit of press. So, you know, doing one of those shows, you get a write-up, say, yo, you're one of the artists that took the night. You know, I start getting some features here and there. I put out the Momentum Volume 1 mixtape, Ready See. So that was in December 2010. And then that took me to a different level now, because this was not just like the local performance. This was putting out a mixtape. I know people from all over the world were now getting to hear me. So I think that was the year when I started to break out and really start making a name for myself.
Yeah, I think it was just a few years later that I heard of you, or around the same time. I can't remember. I think it was when you put out War for Peace.
Yes, so War for Peace was in 2012. That was another big year.
Yeah.
So that was a debut album. But I think even before that, I was featured on some songs for the Nomadic Wax label. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those were some of your beats.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You can see, like, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So many things happening. Yeah. That was, we actually kind of like worked before then. So, wow.
Yeah.
It is a small world, though. It is a small world.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Thanks to the internet, like we've been able to bridge so many things, so many cultures as well. Like knowing you guys out there, you and your crew.
Yeah,
like,
culture.
Man, it's insane. Though I think it was during COVID. There was like a live freestyle we did, me and some guys, and some came. I can't remember who. Instincts, I think. I can't remember. I think it came on live and it did a very crazy freestyle.
Or was it TSD?
Well, I think it was TSD. Yeah,
that's all like something TSD, the sickest drama, would do. Yeah.
My bad. The sickest drama.
Okay. Yeah.
It was crazy, but that's another story though.
Yeah. Nice.
And so from War for Peace to there was another project you put out.
Yeah, after that was These Kingston Times. That was 2014.
This Kingston Time. That was a good follow-up though. I'll say that. Like you were able, like the consistency, like you working with Son Raw, Modisha. What's his name? Mordecai, my bad.
Yeah, man.
Like
Mordecai came after that. So these Kingston Times, and the projects with Mordecai were Heat Rocks that started 2016, and then there was
Love and Art.
Yes, and that was 2019. Yeah.
So many things going on, like, but then how did you you were like in the space that year, like that period, not that year, like those years, like how did you get to be so consistent that way?
Man, just being focused and driven, and trying to like find a system. So I found systems where I said, all right, let me find a routine for writing. Let me find a routine for recording these songs. Let me try and do some mixing every weekend. So just finding a rhythm in getting things done and being focused allow me to complete projects and get them out. And obviously just having partners working with me. So I did War for Peace with a number of different producers. These Kingston Times, different producers. But then since then, I've just decided to lock in with one producer for every project. And I think that helps. You get to hear a certain chemistry. There's a certain cohesion in the music. But then you already have a partner. You have a partner that you're working with on the project to guide you, help you, invest in it as well. So it's not just you with your resources, so you have some assistants, you go 50-50, make things a bit easier,
Oh.
Yeah.
That's dope. But because working with one person, it really helps you stay focused, like you have one mission.
Yeah.
And you both of you are just focused on that mission to get everything done, which is it's it reminds me of Nas, Hit Boy, you went through back then. Yeah,
it's funny you said Nas and Hit Boy, because I thought before when you said Nas, I thought you were going to say Premiere or something. But that's the album everyone wants to hear. And I think that's coming this year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, but then you see he and Hit Boy, they developed the chemistry that everyone expected from him and Premiere.
Yep.
And they did what, 6 albums? 6 albums in 3 years?
Which is crazy.
Incredible run, incredible. I think that's unmatched by anyone. I mean, I know there are people out there putting out albums every month, mixtapes, EPs every month, but it's not having that impact. And it's not to take away from anybody, but I don't think it's the quality of what Nas and Hit Boy did.
Facts. It's not the same, like it's like the throughput, like the quality, like everything's just over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me a few information. Like I need to know, like how did you guys form the council?
Okay, so now the council, I mean, I think it came about very easily because we're all actual friends. You know, so like take Nomad Carlos for example. I've known him since I was 12. We went to high school together, you know, so I met him in first form, or what would be the 7th grade.
Yeah.
You know, so we were always friends from then. And when I started rapping at school and I formed my first crew, he was a part of that. You know, so we had that crew and then we ended up going to a studio named Gambling House. We went to Gambling House in our late teens. That's where we met Instincts and the Sickest Drama. And then Instincts and Sickest Drama, they were schoolmates as well. They're a bit older than us, but they also went to school together. So they have that bond going back from that time. And at the studio, it was pretty much like the mecca for local hip hop, like for real. Like a lot of rappers passed through, producers. I mean, we had other genres of artists there, but the main core were rappers, you know, and there was no other space quite like that. And all of us were linking, we're friends, making music together. But I think the four of us as a council, we always saw eye to eye more than everyone else in terms of musical taste, our styles and our direction. And then we started working on an event called Pay Attention. So we started that in 2012 and we did that for a few years. We did it to 2015. And that was pretty much the only real consistent hip hop series we've seen. We did maybe 15, 16 of them. You know, so we had a good little run. And then we kind of fell back from that and we said, yo, we want to do our own music, like together. Like instead of focusing on an event, let's do an album. So we formed the council and then we ended up doing Nothing Else Matters. And we had a follow-up as well called Trinity. And that was on the Equinox label. So we had producers like Sun Ra. That's when we started working with Sun Ra. We had Time Code. We had Sawandi. You know, so that came together in that period during COVID, and we're working on that there. So the council is more than just a rap group. Like even though lately we haven't done any music together, but we're still in a WhatsApp group talking about music and life and what have you. You know? Yeah,
I feel you. It's like you said, it's so natural. It's like a collective of people that just know each other, and you guys. Like I don't think there's a pressure.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, actual friends with real history outside of music. It's not just, oh, that's a musical pair, let's link up and do something. You know, it really have background. Like for some of us, not all of us, not saying all of our families know each other, but like for me and Nomad, our families know each other.
Okay.
You know, for TS and Instinct, their families would know each other as well. I know their families as well because we've known each other for so long. So it's like that.
Got you. So I mean, shout outs to them. You guys haven't put out music as a collective in a while, but
that is true.
When still working, you know, like everyone keeps.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think we're all getting older and there are different responsibilities in life. You know what I mean? So TS, for example, you know, he's a father now. He's married. Same thing with Nomad. You know, so they're in a different stage of life where they may not be making music as much as one time. I know TS is still at it. Nomad still has to get back in the groove, I think. You know, Instincts, big up Instincts. I'm actually going to see him a little later. I'm going to see him in a few hours.
Shout out to him.
I'm doing a 5K race. So Instincts is in it as well. So I'm going to see him.
Yeah,
you know?
that was my next thing I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
You getting into, you know, running marathon.
Yeah.
Like, okay, before that, it was more of like they used to show post videos of your workout.
Yeah, I started during COVID. Two things happened during COVID. I started running more to the point I was running 3-4 times a week. And because I never had a consistent workout as an adult, I said, yo, if I can run 3 times a week, let me try and work out instead. So then that's when I started working out as well. So started running more, and then I started working out. And I got more serious about the running, and I've been consistent with the workout regime 3 days a week. So yeah, I started posting some pictures, some videos here and there, talking about the workout. And then over time, I just got more and more serious with the running, going longer distances. And I guess similar to the music, just went through different phases where I eventually got to the point I said, hey, I'm going to do some of these races. Never did any before. And then did one and surprised myself, like, whoa, I was in the top 50 or near the top 50. How did I do that?
Yeah.
You know, and then that just motivated me to do more and more and train harder. So just got on that journey, started doing some good times, spoke to my other friends who were into running even before me. And they're like, yo, you need to do a marathon. So last year I did the event is called Reggae Marathon, but it capped at the half marathon distance. I'm not sure why they're not doing the marathon distance anymore, but I did the half marathon event last year and again surprised myself at it. So I'm just going to keep going, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. And like when it comes to exercise, like your regimen, like how did you find what suits you, or did you like have to look at different types of regimen to find the one that fits? Because we have different body types, you know.
Yeah.
So how did you adjust to those different types of exercises?
For me, I can't say I experimented or played around too much. I just did what I knew. You know, so I used to, there's push-ups. Everyone knows push-ups. I even know you have your own push-up challenge, you know. So as a young person playing sports, football when I was younger, basketball later, I was a cadet for a little while when I was younger. I just started doing push-ups, you know, doing sit-ups, so stuff that I could easily do at home without any weight, without any equipment. You know, eventually I started doing squats because from all the running that I was doing at one point, I realized that if I didn't work my legs, I would start feeling my knees, you know, so I started doing squats. So my workout hasn't really changed much since then. I do push-ups, sit-ups, squats, pull-ups. Like, it's that simple.
Wow. But and then again, diet. What do you think?
So diet, no, that's for me, like that's the next frontier. So even now I'm trying to learn more about food, and lately, as of last year, I'm trying to be like, I'm kind of semi-vegan now. Like I'm not vegan, but maybe 3 days out of the week I eat vegan meals.
Okay.
You know, so I've been trying to learn more about food, and I want to start preparing more of that food for myself. So that's like the next frontier for me, to kind of get protein from other sources. Yeah.
Interesting. Like it just shows like different facets of your life.
Yeah.
From, you know, the music aspect to the health aspect, because at the end of the day, like it takes a lot to run a marathon. Like
or a half marathon.
Yeah, even half. I'm just saying half.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know, and hey, congrats on, you know, going through all this. I see it and I'm like, damn, I wish I could do. I'm sure I've seen what you're up to. I'm sure you can do it if you set it as a goal and you train, you'll get there. Because when people first told me do a marathon, and I really sat down and thought about it, I was like, yo, 26 point, what? No, I can't do that. I said, no, that's too much. Even times when I was running, because there was a time when getting to 10 kilometers felt like so much. You know, till now, that's just a regular Saturday for me. So I think with anything you want to achieve, not just health, but in life, you can train towards it. And what was once hard becomes easy. Or not necessarily easy, but you handle it better. Yeah.
You know, something that you thought you could not do, eventually you can handle it, you can manage it.
True, very true. I mean, this again is something you can apply anywhere.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so let's keep moving forward. You have a new body of work coming out.
Yes.
Sun Raw. And the first single is out. soul.
Soul in the music, yes.
So just give us like a synopsis on like how did you guys get back into the studio, because you took some time off, right? From what I know.
Yeah, I kind of, in terms of the consistency that I've had over the years, I felt like I kind of fell back a bit. I mean, I did fall back. So even 2023 was probably the year I did the least music ever. You know, I was just focused on other things in life. I was, even though I do music, I have a full-time job. I work in marketing, you know? So, and sometimes that complements the music because you get to incorporate music in some things that you're doing with marketing. But just with the changes I was going through in life, I was changing jobs, you know, just adjusting to having to look after, you know, my parents a little bit more. I just never had as much time for the music. But then last year, I got back to it, recording a lot more, saying, all right, just like as I explained before, find a system to say, okay, let me do X amount of writing, let me approach it on these days, and let me go into a recording phase, let me sit down and mix these songs, etc. So I found a way to get things done. And yeah, I have a new EP now. And it's not even like a full-length project. I mean, I have some more work coming, but this is just a 4-track EP to get things started. And it's called The Test of Time. And I came up with that name because I felt like after all these years, I've stood the test of time. You know, I talk about starting my journey from 2010. But even before that, we're making music. We're performing, doing all sorts of stuff before 2010. It's just that was when people out there really started to hear this name and see this name, you know? And I've been fairly consistent since then. And I feel like I still have more in the tank to keep going. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, you know? So we stand in the test of time. So that's where the name comes from. And as I said, 4 songs, just continuing the work that I did with Sun Ra. The last project was Redefined. That one came out in the summer of 2023. I feel like we have a good chemistry musically and personally. So we just build upon that, and here we have a new project. May 30th, that's when it comes out.
That's it. So in 20 days time.
20 days time.
20 days. We'll be getting full length project. And in terms of the vibe, like I can see like a lot of soulful elements here.
Yeah.
What's that?
To some extent, yeah. As I say, it's only 4 songs, so soul in the music might be the most soulful song. You know, so like the next single that you're going to hear come Friday, very different vibe, you know? So it's a mixture. It's not just one thing on this project. It's kind of a mixture that you're going to get.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about being versatile with this whole thing. And again, like your consistency though, it is quite inspiring. You know, people say, yeah, Teck, you're consistent everything, but I look at you as well, I'll be like, damn, you're still here. Like I remember from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, all the projects, I'll be like, yo, there are still people like you, still dedicated regardless, like you are pretty much just living your dream in a way, like no pressure.
Yeah. I mean, I can say the same about you, because you're consistent. You're still producing. You're DJing. You're in your martial arts. You're doing your push-up challenge. So I think both of us walk similar paths in terms of music and fitness.
Facts.
Yeah.
Fact. That what? That just gave me an idea. I'll run it by you later.
Okay. All right.
But just give me an idea, like, because I think we should be able to use our talent for something beyond just the music, like there are certain things, there are certain aspects we can use our music for to, how do I call it, uplift people, like empower people, that kind of thing, So I'll run this thing by you later.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, like I just, in a way, this talk, I just want you to get your views on life on certain things when it comes to, music and all that. And I like the way you break it down though. Like it's like you have like an answer for everything. I don't know. Like you're reading off something.
Well, I mean, these things are, I mean, I always talk about my music, and I like talking about fitness and the running, etc. So, yeah. I mean, it's always right there in my head. So it's not like I need to see a script, and I guess these are things that I'm passionate about. So I'm always willing to sit down with people and talk about it. And as an artist, you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to jump on a podcast and talk. Right now we're in that podcast era where everyone has a podcast. So
yeah,
just talk your shit. You see me?
Straight up, that's the way.
Yeah.
But then again, like, it's just wanting people to hear your story, like getting
that
people
as well.
like, hey, look, there's this person from certain place and this is what he's doing, and how we all connect as well, like the reason why we're connecting is because of hip-hop. Like we've never seen each other in real life before, and
that's what's crazy, and through the internet and hip-hop. I mean, even Sun Ra, who I've worked with, so no, never met these guys in person, but it's nothing to speak. Sometimes we get on Zoom or whatever and we see, face to face, but we've never been there physically. But that doesn't change the chemistry or what we're able to produce and give to the world.
True. Yeah, it is a beautiful thing, like just being able to connect with people through music and the art as well.
Yeah.
Me, like you connecting over there to Jamaica, like I definitely have to come out there one day. I definitely need to come out there one day.
Just make me know when you're coming, we'll link up.
Yeah.
But hit the studio and maybe we'll go to a gym or we'll go jogging, go running, something.
There's so much to do. There's so much.
Yeah.
Just beyond the music, there's so much we could, we can always do together. And then, so pretty much that's it. So, man, shout outs to you for coming through this. I don't know, like there's a way I'm trying to put it, like just being able to chop it up. The first time we're talking, right? I think this is the first time ever.
Yeah, like this. I mean, we might have had some DM conversation or, tweeting back and forth about whatever, but never really a fluid convo like this, audio and video as well. Yeah.
Damn, man. Damn. That's crazy, though. That's crazy. Funny enough, like I did the same thing with a few other people as well. Like I met on the internet. There's so many people I've met on the internet that it's like I've known them forever, but I just haven't like sat down to talk to them until I started this podcast. So pretty much that's why I'm even doing this, just to be able to get other people's perspective and of course your stories as well, like because your story matter at the end of the day. Because I mean, I don't think I know, you're like one of the first Jamaican rappers that I know.
Nice.
I mean, besides the council, like
yeah. But I mean, that's the case for a lot of people, and I think just with the way I was doing what I was doing, especially when I just started out getting a certain amount of press and just using the internet the way I did, for a lot of people, even locally, I was one of the first that they discovered or even really took note of a certain way. Hold on, let me just plug in my computer real quick before I get knocked out. But yeah, so I'm kind of happy to be that ambassador of sorts.
Yeah.
To represent for the culture and show people around the world that hip hop is out here, and to show people locally, you can do this. Like, I know sometimes it's kind of hard being outside of that realm of reggae and dancehall, but I hope I can give some young people my age as well, the courage to say, hey, let me go ahead with this idea that I have, and not feel deterred by the fact that it's not the most popular thing or it doesn't have the most support. Do what you love, and if it comes from the heart, just put it out there.
Yeah, man. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. So, to be honest, that could have been your last words of wisdom, but I need you to drop me a gem, something for people just coming up in the game, like people trying to get up in the music industry and all that. Just give
Wow.
up from
You
your.
know what I would say, yo, right now it's a good time because there's so much information that's out there. I mean, yeah, we have the tools here. We can record right at home. You know, we have the computer, we have the laptop, we have the cell phone, social media can get your stuff out, but just try to learn. There's whole heap of information out there, social media and other websites. Learn from people already in the game, whether they're artists, producers, lawyers, publishers. Just learn as much as possible about the ins and outs of making music, releasing music, promoting music, and I think very important is just stay up to date because it keeps changing. So stay up to date with what's happening and just try to stay current.
Wow. I mean, that's all you guys need to hear. Keep learning, stay up to date, keep pushing your boundaries, you know, and you never
Believe in
know.
yourself.
Believe, yeah.
Yeah.
So major key right there. That's it. So man, shout outs to you for coming through. Finally, we did this.
Yes.
People are gonna hear this, you know, like I want people to hear more stories. We will definitely do like a part two.
All right. I'm down.
Definitely do like a part two, you know, like this is just like a precursor to many things. Just letting people know like who you are, where you're from, all those other things, like what you do. We definitely talk more about the fitness aspect as well. You know, we expound on it. There's so many things. So, but yeah, and shout outs to you, man. Thanks for coming through. We'll definitely do this another time.
All right, Tech.
Okay.
Good meeting you for the first in the
Yeah.
virtual, but you know, still.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Because I've known you for like forever.
Yeah.
But crazy though. Nice one, man. We'll definitely link up.
All right, bro. One love.
One love, man. Bless.
Big up.
Bless.